Let's go.
I can't go, baby. I gotta stay. I mean, this is for the cause, the struggle, you know? I got pushed around by all the guys and never got any play from the girls. They used to tease me about my eyes, call me names.
This case is twisting me out. My interrogation room was a bust.
You're the only person I can trust.
I'll take you where you want to go.
I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot no deputy.
Well, Gary, I wanted to ask you, you have, you're a compulsive gambler. Now you're a drug addict. What is going on?
The star of one of America's most popular TV shows has been arrested on drugs charges. CSI actor Gary Dourdan, who plays Warwick Brown, was allegedly found with heroin, cocaine and ecstasy.
Ever wonder what happened to that smooth-talking, handsome devil from CSI, Gary Dourdan?
Crop circle.
Oh, it's a circle in the middle of a field. What would you call it?
It's a crop circle.
Well, brace yourself, because while his looks may have stayed just as swoon-worthy, his life has been anything but picture-perfect. Behind those piercing eyes and that cool, calm demeanor lies a story packed with scandal, heartbreak, and some seriously messy drama. From run-ins with the law to bankruptcy, drug accusations, and explosive relationships, Gary's journey through Hollywood has been one wild ride after another. Ready to uncover the shocking truths behind his fall from grace? Trust me, it's a lot darker than you'd ever imagine.
You want $10 million. We're here to negotiate that for you.
So, Gary Dourdan didn't just pop onto our screens out of nowhere. His story has some serious ups and downs. Raised in Philly, Gary grew up in a super creative household with his 4 siblings.
I think I'm from Philadelphia. I was born and raised in Philadelphia in South Jersey, and I spent about 20 years in New York.
His dad, Robert, was an entrepreneur, while his mom, Sandy, had her hands full as a fashion designer and a school teacher. But life wasn't all sunshine and rainbows for young Gary. When he was just 6, his family was hit with a tragedy that still haunts him today. His older brother, Daryl, tragically passed away in Haiti while digging into the family's French ancestry. And here's where things get mysterious. Daryl supposedly fell from a balcony, but the Haitian authorities never quite explained what went down. To this day, it's a heartbreak Gary hasn't fully made peace with.
My older brother was a flautist as well, and it sort of stuck with me.
After that devastating loss, the family packed their bags and headed to Willingboro, New Jersey. There, Gary started making waves in high school, diving into martial arts, acting, and music. He was that kid who did a little bit of everything. Word on the street is that he graduated in 1984 and then hit up college, where he snagged a degree by 1988, just casually checking off life goals. But Gary wasn't about to stop there. He had bigger dreams. He threw himself into music, joining a bunch of bands and chasing his passion for the spotlight.
I moved to New York. I started playing in bands, and I had about 4 bands, and I was doing musical theater. Oh, wow. And I didn't think that I would ever do it for a living. But I didn't think it was for me. I didn't think that people would be checking me out.
Yeah.
And Debbie Allen saw me in Paris, and a year later, she wrote me a part on A Different World.
Gary's acting career? Oh, it's packed with over 70 movie and TV credits. Yes, 70. He made his film debut in 1992 with The Good Fight. But let's just say,
watch Christine Lottie and Terry O'Quinn in a Lifetime world premiere movie, The Good Fight.
It didn't exactly set Hollywood on fire. No worries, though. The big break came soon enough, in the 90s, and it looked effortless. In 1997, Gary landed a part in the iconic Alien film franchise. And just like that, he was on the map.
We have to leave her.
She comes.
We can't trust her.
I don't trust anyone.
But things really blew up for Gary in the year 2000 when he joined the legendary CSI cast. That's right. Gary played the fan-favorite Warwick Brown when the show debuted on October 6, 2000.
Oh, you mean dealing with punk-ass cops who hide behind their union reps?
It didn't take long before Gary became a household name, and his fan base, enormous. People couldn't get enough of him. Now, if you think Gary stuck to TV, think again. He didn't just ride the TV wave. Oh no, he dipped his toes into featured films too. One of his more memorable roles? Playing Halle Berry's love interest in Perfect Stranger. And trust me, that pairing had sparks flying.
No more phones.
He also showed up in Jumping the Broom in 2011, proving his versatility as an actor.
Burning.
Mm-hmm. Burning, yeah.
No, it's burning. It's burning.
Oh!
And just when you thought he was fading from the screen, Gary popped up again in 2021, starring in 6 episodes of The First Wives Club, where he played Dr. Malcolm Reynard. This man still got it.
The current chief of surgery is leaving. I would love to throw your hat in the ring.
I'm honored.
Now, Gary's talent didn't just bring him fame, it brought him awards. He snagged 12 nominations and won a total of 6 awards. Most notably, he took home 2 NAACP Image Awards for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a drama series in 2003 and 2006 for his stellar work in CSI, Crime Scene Investigation. And guess what? He was also nominated for the same award in 2004, 2005, and 2007. If you remember CSI, and seriously, who could forget, Gary's character, Warwick Brown, wasn't your average crime solver. He was a former gambling addict who turned his life around and became a tech whiz on the team.
Grissom, you and I both know that Getter killed that girl and pinned it on that bum. You just gotta give me a chance to prove it.
He helped crack cases left and right, but his character's journey was anything but smooth. In a shocking Season 8 finale, Warwick got shot in his car, and by the Season 9 premiere, fans were left heartbroken when he died in Gil Grissom's arms.
And so he lived his life to the fullest, each day, as if it was his last day.
Now, behind the scenes? Oh, things weren't as smooth as they seemed. Gary wasn't supposed to leave CSI, but those notorious contract negotiations messed everything up. When the talks fell through, he had no choice but to bid farewell to the hit show.
And mostly people get up and they tell me that they cried when I died and things like that, which is great to hear. When you're an actor, you want to hear that that you affected someone in some way, or you got a reaction or emotion out of someone. Then you did your job.
And let's just say, it didn't exactly sit well with him. Right after filming his final scenes, Gary found himself in some serious hot water. He was arrested for possession of cocaine and ecstasy. But here's where it gets juicy. Some rumors suggest those drug charges might have had more to do with his CSI exit than the contract drama. And let's be real, this wasn't Gary's first time dancing with trouble. He's had his fair share of run-ins with the law, and trust me, it's been wild.
The star of one of America's most popular TV shows has been arrested on drugs charges.
In 2008, Gary was found fast asleep in his car. When an officer checked on him, it didn't take long to figure out something was seriously off. Gary was totally disoriented, and the officer suspected he was under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Spoiler alert, he was right on the money. When they searched the car, it was like a walking pharmacy in there. Cocaine, heroin, ecstasy, prescription drugs, and even drug paraphernalia. Naturally, Gary was arrested on the spot for possession of narcotics and dangerous drugs, but in true celebrity fashion, he was released shortly after on a $5,000 bail.
The 41-year-old was jailed for about 5 hours before being released on bail.
He managed to avoid jail time by copping a plea to cocaine and ecstasy charges, agreeing to complete a drug diversion program. It seemed like he dodged a major bullet, right? But nope. Little did we know, this was only the beginning of Gary's spiral. Fast forward to June 2011, and Gary was back in the spotlight, but not for the right reasons. He was arrested in Los Angeles after crashing his car into several parked vehicles. The worst part? He reportedly attempted to make a run for it before the police arrived. Seriously, Gary, what were you thinking? Just when you thought things couldn't get messier, 5 months after his car crash debacle, Gary found himself back in handcuffs. This time, the drama unfolded at his Venice, California home during a heated fight with his ex-girlfriend, Nicole Vale Cannizzaro. Things got ugly, real ugly. Nicole ended up with a broken nose, and Gary faced some serious accusations. But here's where the plot thickens. Gary swore up and down that he didn't do it.
There's negative connotations with certain publications. They like to try to harp on some negative things.
In an exclusive chat with E! News, he said, "I've been waiting a long time and I haven't had a voice. It's been rough, but people need to hear the real story. I did not do this." So, what's Gary's side of the story? He claims it all started when he noticed his son was missing from his Venice home. Naturally, he panicked. Turns out, Nicole, who he says he'd broken up with a month before, had taken their son to a nearby Whole Foods. When Gary finally found them, he tried to take his son back home. But when Nicole tried to hop in the cab with them, Gary said he pushed her away. Nicole then allegedly went back to Gary's house, broke in through the garage, and started throwing around power tools in a fit of rage. But despite all of Gary's claims, the court wasn't hearing it. He pled no contest, which meant no prison, but the consequences? Pretty steep. He was slapped with 5 years of formal probation, a full year of domestic violence counseling, and a restraining order to stay far away from Nicole for 5 years. As if all the legal drama wasn't enough, things took a turn for the worse in August 2012 when Gary filed for bankruptcy. Yup, the star was in deep financial trouble.
At the first year, I started having troubles.
Claiming he had a little over $1.8 million to his name, but he owed creditors nearly $1.7 million. And the list of creditors? It went on and on. Bank of America, Harley-Davidson, the state of California, LA County, HSBC, the IRS, Wells Fargo, and even the LA City Fire Department were all knocking at his door for money. At the time, Gary said he was bringing in close to $15K a month, but after paying his hefty expenses, including $2,600 to the IRS and $3,000 to his agent and manager, he was left with just $321. Not exactly the Hollywood high life, huh? He even tried to stop Wells Fargo from foreclosing on one of his homes, but the case was dismissed in December when he didn't follow up with the court. And then came round 2. Just days after his first case was dismissed, Gary was back at it again in December 2012, filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It was basically the same story as before. Same assets, same income, same expenses. Union Bank wasn't having it though. They requested the court allow them to foreclose on one of his homes, since this was his second bankruptcy attempt in such a short period. By March 2013, this second bankruptcy was also dismissed, and the court slapped Gary with a 6-month ban on filing again. You'd think that would have been enough to stop him, but nope. In September 2014, Gary tried filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This time, though, he filed under his real name, Gary Dourdan. Guess he thought a little rebranding might help. But things weren't looking any better. In fact, his assets and liabilities were even higher than before. In previous filings, he claimed less than $50,000, but this time, he listed over $1 million in assets and liabilities. He owed nearly $100K to an entertainment lawyer, a few thousand to a storage facility, and even less than $1,000 to American Express. Oh, and of course, the IRS, JP Morgan Chase, HSBC, and the Screen Actors Guild were still in the mix. By the time of his third go-round, Gary had lost one of his homes and was left with a property worth $980K, though he owed $1.1 million on it. His income had dropped to $11,500 a month, and he was drowning in $213K of back taxes. What did Gary have left? $200 in his pocket, $1,000 in the bank, and a $4,000 IRA. The rest of his assets? A 2006 Dodge Charger worth about $7,000, some furniture, books, clothes, and a few watches totaling up to just $500. Not exactly the glamorous Hollywood lifestyle, right? When life throws curveballs, some people find themselves knee-deep in debt due to unexpected events like illness, accidents, or even divorce. But in Gary Dourdan's case, well, let's just say his troubles were a little more self-made. First off, his disposable income back in the day was just $321 a month, yet he had monthly bills that swallowed up nearly all of his $14,183 earnings. He was shelling out an average of $14,562 every month. And let's not forget, the drugs, well, not very sober.
You got a pretty warm reception when you walked up, right?
Yeah.
People recognize you.
Apparently.
Despite the mounting bills, Gary remained optimistic about snagging major acting roles that would help him climb out of his financial hole. And guess what? He did find work. Post-bankruptcy, he appeared in projects like Reversion.
You're the only person I can trust.
I'll take you where you want to go.
Mistress.
I have never met anyone like you.
And you never will.
Being Mary Jane.
I have a lot of stuff going on with the deal.
In prior negotiations, have you ever experienced this?
And Hawaii 5-0. He also starred in the 2021 action thriller Redemption Day. Now, at 57, he's managed to bounce back with an estimated worth of $500,000. Not exactly the millions he once had, but still a solid recovery. As for the rumors surrounding his exit from CSI, crime scene investigation, let's clear the air. While many speculated that his legal troubles led to his departure, the truth is that his contract had simply run its course, and he had already filmed his last scene before the chaos began. So, no, his drug issues didn't seal the deal on his CSI fate. Now, let's dive into Gary's colorful love life, because it's definitely been a roller coaster ride. He's never shied away from sharing the details, and we can count at least 9 women he's publicly dated. His first marriage was to model Roshumba Williams in 1992, but they parted ways just 2 years later. The reason? Many believe it was Gary's affair with Jennifer Sutton, a non-celebrity whom he started dating in 1995. They welcomed a daughter, Nyla, before their split in 2000. But Gary didn't stop there. In 2001, he began a relationship with Cynthia Haddon, who gave birth to their son, Lyric. And just to keep things interesting, that same year, he began dating the stunning British model and TV personality, Lisa Snowdon. And you know what? Despite all the ups and downs in Gary's life, he seems to have really turned things around. These days, he's looking fantastic. He's got that healthy glow, and it's clear that the stormy days are behind him. And honestly, it looks like his best days are still ahead.